All right. Let's make sure you can hear me. No. Okay. Okay, let's make sure this is working and we're good to go then. How do I know this is live? Okay, let's just make sure it's working. Streaming. Events. Okay, let's make sure this is working. Streaming. All right, it's working. Event. All right. Okay. Let's go back to the page. All right. Hello, everyone. Now that I have figured out that you can hear me, welcome to August's Soul Talk on living in alignment with your soul. This is a really good topic, so make sure you stay for the whole hour. So I've gone ahead and enabled question and answers for this talk. So to your right is a submit a question to me. So as you're watching this and something strikes or resonates with you and you want to ask me further about it, go ahead and put your question in there. And as they come in, I will answer them throughout or towards the end of this conversation we're having. So I really hope that you are having a good day or you had a good day or whatever. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I know there are 1,000 other places that we can be. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be present with me and be here with me. That means a lot to me. And if you're here, you've probably watched the previous 4, July, June, May, April, the previous 4 Soul Talks that I've done. And so I'm going to continue this conversation. And I like to do these monthly because it's my way of connecting with you, interacting with you in real time, live. And I love to take the conversations deeper and a little further outside of my videos and my blog posts that I write. So for this month's conversation, I have my note card right here with a few notes. Again, I usually don't really plan or outline my what I say to you. I kind of have a topic in mind, and then I'll usually just riff on it and see what's going to come forth. And whatever's going to come forth is going to be of service to you. It's going to help you. So let's just take a minute right now and just kind of still your mind. Just take some long, deep breaths in. Breathe in. And breathe out. And just give yourself the space to just fully be present, fully be here right now. Whatever's on your mind, say that you'll come back to it just for an hour. You're just going to give yourself the time to fully be present and available with no worries, with no problems, with nothing on your mind. Just put a pause button on that for a second. And just breathe in and breathe out. And trust that whatever is meant to be heard or said, whatever message you're here to receive, you'll receive, and that this will be of high service for everyone involved today. Thanks. So let's get started. I'm going to take some tea. I always have tea on me. Okay, so when I decided to choose the topic that I wanted to talk to you all about today, which is living in alignment with your soul, the reason I decided to choose this was because I have been doing a lot of inner work on myself, specifically around living in integrity with who I am. And when I say living in integrity, where my thoughts, my actions are aligned and they're coming from a place of love and they're coming from a place of integrity for myself and respect and compassion, and understanding and love for myself. And so living in alignment with your soul is so, so important if we want to live happy, joyful lives that are filled with all the things we desire. And a big aspect of living in alignment with your soul is understanding where you are currently aligned. It's like knowing where you are right now and where do you want to be. And you know that you're not living in alignment with your soul is because there's an energy of betrayal present. There's an energy of unhappiness. There is a energy of I wish I could do things differently. I wish this would be different. All this, okay? So the first thing I want to talk to you about is understanding what living in alignment means for you. You know, we all have a way we want to experience ourselves and a way we want to live in the world, who we are showing up as. And who are we showing up as is at the highest reflection, is at the highest truth, is at the highest expression of who I am, or is it something that I'm just dulling down, or I'm just, borrowing because that's what I've been taught, that's what I've been told, this is how I've learned myself to be. And a big part of this is understanding and owning your truth. Everybody's truth is different, okay? And coming within and going within and asking yourself, what is my truth? What is my truth? Am I in integrity with my truth? And you're living in your truth is because you're not betraying yourself. It's like, let's say, for example, you are a man and you like men, but you're not living in integrity with who you are because to like other men or to be homosexual is considered wrong because it's something you learned. What is wrong, what is right is a definition. It's something that we learned from somewhere, somehow, someplace. And we have adapted that and borrowed that as our truth. Or let's say, for example, that, your whole entire life you've been told that you needed to be a doctor, but your highest expression is, painting and drawing and doing creative work and taking photography and, making films and composing music, but you're betraying yourself and following someone else's truth of you of becoming a doctor, but that's not really what you want to be doing. It's just that's what you think you have to be doing because it's the truth that you've learned about yourself. So understanding what is your truth, it's diving in and asking myself, okay, what is my truth? What is my truth? My truth is that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I'm a soul with a body, not a body with a soul. I'm the soul with a body. My truth is that I am fascinated and obsessed with anything metaphysical, anything woo-woo. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. My truth is that I want equality for everyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your story is. I believe that everyone deserves to be treated as equal. My truth is that I don't want to live in a world where we see differences, where we base people on categories and genders and social economic status and educational degrees. I believe in justice and equality for every living, breathing human creature being in the world. I believe in compassion. Kind of what my shirt says right here. My shirt says vegan on here. It says compassion, nonviolence for the people, for the planet, for animals. This is my truth. Hence why I'm wearing this shirt right now. This is my truth. And so we all know what our truth is, because whatever our truth always feels good. We know we're aligned to our truth. We're in our truth. We're owning our truth because we feel good. Remember this. I know I talked about this earlier, but your truth will always, always, always feel good. Your truth will always be your highest excitement. Your truth will be your highest expression. It will be the most loving, supporting, empowering thought about you. And a big part of living in alignment with your soul is knowing and understanding what your truth is. And it's checking in with yourself and be like, am I living my truth? Or am I borrowing someone else's truth of me and living in this perceived, borrowed truth of someone else's perception, someone else's opinion, someone else's reality of me? I always come back to this, and I say that throughout our whole entire life, we only know ourselves through people. We only know ourselves because of the feedback we've received from people. So for me, English is my second language. I moved to this country at the age of 6 in 1995. I didn't go to kindergarten here. I started first grade and I spoke zero English whatsoever. And I was just pushed into the first grade class, and I couldn't communicate. I couldn't communicate, and nobody wanted to be my friend because I was a new girl and I didn't speak English. So it was like, weird. Who is she, right? And throughout, the feedback I received then made me very shy. I was already a shy kid to begin with because of the earlier traumas in my childhood, but they made me even more shyer. It created this guard up, and I said people couldn't really relate to me because I was an alien. I was an outcast. And when you're a young child and you experience that, those feedbacks that you receive from other people kind of get ingrained in your subconscious, and that's how you start to relate to yourself. So I've always felt like an outcast. I always felt like an alien. I always felt like I don't fit in. And I've talked in extensive detail about this on a video on my channel. But whatever feedback we're constantly receiving from people, when we're kids, we're conditioned into being a certain way. And I worked at a preschool, so I'll tell you this. The kids, 2-year-olds, even one and 1.5-year-olds had to sit at the table like adults and eat their lunch. And if they wanted to play with their food or smush their grapes first and then put it in their mouth, they were punished. They were told, bad girl. They were told, time out. And that's the feedback these children are receiving, that being who they are is not okay. If we don't fit into this mold, then something's wrong with us. We're not obedient. It's like society wants us to be obedient. And that's how we learn to relate to ourselves in this very loophole feedback mechanism way, is that if we do something and the feedback we receive from it is either good or bad, that's how we start relating and experiencing ourselves. So when you're trying to understand what your truth is, you need to stop the opinions and the noise of all the other people around you and go within yourself in a place of stillness. And journaling is really good. Pick up a pen, a piece of paper, and ask yourself this question. Here's a journaling prompt for you that I'm going to give you right now. After this call tonight, when you go to bed, sit down with your journal and write this question top of the page and ask yourself, what is my truth? Okay? What is my truth? And riff and flow, and just let it come out. See whatever's come out. Don't try to filter it. Don't try to monitor it. Don't try to make it right or wrong. Just write down whatever is coming forth for you, okay? What is my truth? Okay, and then after that, I want you to sit there and write down, can I own my truth? Can I own my truth? My truth may be that I'm homosexual. My truth may be that I love a man that I'm not supposed to love. My truth may be that, I'm actually a creative artist and not this scholar, academic person that everyone else wants me to be. My truth may be that, I love to travel and I'm a nomad. I don't really want that stable life. My truth may be that I don't want kids. My truth may be that I'm still understanding what my sexuality is, and it's okay to give myself the space to understand what that is, and what that means for me. Whatever it is, write down what is my truth, and then ask yourself, can I own my truth? And if you can't, Be gentle with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Be kind for yourself. But stop trying to make yourself wrong for what your truth is, because it doesn't fit into the truth that you've been taught that you should have, that you should own. So that is a huge part of living in alignment with your soul. And the bestest way to know that you're not living in alignment with your soul is that you're betraying yourself. Every single day you're waking up and you're wishing that you could live someone else's life. You wish you didn't have to live your life as you. And that's not fair to the person you are. And that's that Martha Graham quote that is that there is only one of you. Okay, one of you in all of space and all of time. And if you don't share your expression, it will never exist ever again. You are the only medium, the vessel, this body, this experience of yourself that can bring forth whatever the expression is trying to come forth through you. That's how ridiculously special you are. You know, you can't sit here and wait for someone else to applaud, appreciate yourself. You can't wait for that validation outside of yourself to own who you are. You have to give yourself the permission to own who you are. And if you need permission to own who you are, I'm giving you that permission right now. I give you permission. Own the shit out of who you are. Own your truth. Own your truth. Embody it. Feel it. Breathe it. Live it. Really become aware of what your truth is. And when you start living from a place of truth within your heart, within your soul, within your being, that's when you can create all those changes in your life. That's when you can really have what you desire. Because when the foundation is weak, when the foundation is built on sand and not on stone, how can you build a house? How can you build a beautiful house that supports all these desires, all these dreams, all these things you would like to achieve and have in your life? I hope this is making sense. Can someone let me know if this is making sense to them? Just pop it in the questions and see if this is making sense to you. And if you have questions as you hear me speak tonight, just go ahead and put them onto the right, I think it's still right, yeah, to the right of your screen, and I will answer them live here. So let me refresh. Okay, perfect. Awesome. It's making sense. Thanks. Where is my screen? Okay. All right. So there's this quote by Steve Jobs that I heard the other day, which truly is the reason that I'm on this live webinar thing with you right now. Is I didn't pull it up earlier, but I'm gonna pull it up now. That really just spoke to me so much. It's the commencement ceremony that he gave at Stanford, like in 2004, and a line in that speech just resonated with me. It's like, you know, when you read or you hear something, or like a specific, this happens with me a lot when I hear, like, read a book. I'll be reading a book and then a specific line will just like raise all the hairs in my arms. This was this. Let me just find it for you, because it's so good. Okay, this is it, okay? Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Let me read that again. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Isn't that powerful? That is so incredibly powerful. How many of us do that? If you do this, raise your hand. You let the opinions of others people's noise drown out your own inner voice. You know, you do that. And why do you do it? Because you haven't learned to trust and believe in your own voice. You haven't learned to live in alignment with your soul. You know, the number one way we live in alignment with our soul, aside from owning our truth, is listening to our inner voice. And this inner voice, what is the voice of love. And this is what you call your intuition. This is what you call your higher self. This is what you call your authentic self. This is what you call divine. It's what you call God, your spirit guides, however you want to call it. This is the voice. And the more we listen to this voice, the more courageous we are, the more empowered we are to live in our truth, but the more aligned we are to our soul. So why don't we listen to this voice? Because we're too busy letting the noise of other people's opinions drown out our inner voice. The noise of other people, and this noise I like to call the ego. Ego is false conditioned self. Okay, the false conditioned self, the self that you think you are, the self that is built on the opinions, the feedback, the learned behavioral patterns of the world of other people, the self that you have learned yourself to be, not the self that you are. The self that you are is divine, is pure, is perfect, is whole, is this whole self. And most of us constantly walk around life feeling like we're a bunch of broken parts all the time, all these pieces, and we're trying to figure out how to put all these pieces back together. I will tell you right now that there are no pieces to put back together. That's why it's really impossible to put the pieces back together, because you're not broken. You're not half of a person. You're a whole of a person. You're always your whole self. And the person that is broken and the person that needs to be put back together as pieces is your ego, is the false conditioned self, is all this noise that you've learned about who you are, or who you should be. Okay? It's the noise of other people's opinions. It's the noise of our parents. It's the noise of our, teachers. It's the noise of our leaders. The noise of our education system. It's the noise of our society. It's the noise of our girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. But that noise is what's clouding your, experience of yourself, and not allowing you to have this truthful experience of yourself, of your soul. And the moment you understand that, the moment you understand how to own your inner voice, own your truth, own what this voice is telling you, what this voice has to say about you, you are untouchable. Nothing can touch you. You are unstoppable. Okay? So how do we do it? How do we stop letting the opinions of others, the noise, this ego run the show? Okay, first of all, accepting it's never going to go away. It is never going to go away. Your ego isn't going to one day just not be there. That ego is always going to be there. That's what makes us human. But that's also what makes us divine. If we didn't know our ego, we wouldn't know our divinity. If we didn't know our ego, we wouldn't know our humanity. It serves a purpose. It's not fault design. The universe didn't mess up or fuck up. It serves a purpose. If you can see that it serves a purpose, it's the veil over your genius. It's the veil over your soul. It's the veil over your truth. That's what the ego is. That's what all the noise is. Ego equals noise. Ego equals false conditioned self. Ego equals a learned self that I think I am, not who I really am. If you can learn to understand how this noise speaks to you, and I will tell you right now how this noise speaks to you. Disempowering, unloving, unsupporting. I'll tell you, okay. You should totally do that. You shouldn't do that. Oh my God, no one's gonna watch you. No one's gonna care what you have to say. Oh my God, you're so stupid. Like, you're not smart at all. Like, oh, you're such a failure. Like, why bother? Don't do it. You're so fat. You're so ugly. Ugh. You like have pimples all over your face. Oh, look at this. Your clothes look terrible on you. Or like, you'll never get that. You'll never achieve that. You'll never make all the money you want. You'll never have the job that you desire. You'll never. It's. Do you see how it speaks to you? It feels like just like this like heavy coating of like, I kind of think of like that mud that you like start sinking into. What is that? Quicksand. When you step into it, you just feel yourself sinking into it. That's what the ego sounds like. That's what the noise of the ego sounds like. Mean is the best way to put it. Mean. It's a bully. But why are we so obedient to this bully? Why this I had this thought, and this like blew my mind. We are so quick to believe in the noise of the ego, but we are so hesitant to believe in the voice of love. Why is that? Why are we so quick to believe that we're unworthy? Why don't we question that? But we're so hesitant to believe that we are worthy. Why don't we question that? You know, we never question the unloving, the unsupporting, the disempowering thoughts. We just assume that's the truth of who we are. We're so obedient to the ego's noise. Why are we? You know, if the ego says to you all day long, oh, you're not worthy of success, you're not worthy of abundance, you're not worthy of love, you're not worthy of this, you're not worthy of that, you can't have it, you're undeserving, you're stupid, stupid. Why are we so quick and so obedient to what it says to us? Why? Because we don't question it. We don't question it. When you don't question something, you can't become aware of why you're believing it. So if the ego is telling you, you know, I have this amazing business idea because I hate working for someone else and I'd rather be working for myself on my own terms, and I have this amazing business idea and I want to help be of service to people and help people and expand consciousness of the planet, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the ego comes in and says, well, you're not worthy of it. You're not capable of it. And then you go and you listen to that and you say, well, yeah, you're right, I'm not. Question it. Why? Why am I not worthy of it? Why am I not capable of it? Where is this measurement of worthiness or capability coming from? Question the noise of your ego. You know, it's like your intuition is this gentle whisper, like this tap on your shoulder. It's like this. It's like, hey, I'm here too. I'm listening. I'm here. I'm telling you this. And the ego, and your inner voice, the voice of love, your intuition is saying, well, you are worthy. You are capable. You can have this. You got this. Believe it. Don't question what your intuition is saying to you, because you know why. You don't question a loving or supporting and empowering thought. You don't need to question a loving, supporting, empowering thought. You need to question every unloving, unsupporting, disempowering thought. You need to ask yourself, why am I so obedient to listen to the voice of the ego? Because when I understand the noise and the voice of the ego is not allowing me to live in alignment with my soul, is the reason I'm experiencing all this difficulty, all these problems, all this like, life sucks, it's not working out for me, I can't have it, I can't get there, blah, 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 blah. It's because you're too listening to the bullshit. You're listening to the bullshit, that's why your life is bullshit. You gotta change what voice you're listening to. And if you don't know, if you can't tell the difference between your ego and your intuition, the best place to understand this voice is to get in complete stillness with yourself. Get into a place of stillness. Close your eyes for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, put the timer on, meditate. Feel every thought that comes up and ask yourself, okay, is this thought loving? Is it empowering? Is it supporting? Is it energizing? No? Okay, it's the noise of the ego. It's really that clear. And once you become so aware and so clear on how the ego speaks to you, you'll never want to listen to it again. You'll never want to be obedient to it, because you know that that's the reason you're not living your optimal, the life that you deserve, you know? And that is the key to living in alignment with your soul, is understanding that the noise of the ego is not real. It's not real. And this is what A Course in Miracles says. Only love is real. Only love is real. When you start listening to the voice of love, you're aligned with your soul. You're in your power. You are super, super, super powerful then. And it also feels good. And that's where feeling good comes from. Feeling good will always come from a place of love. If you can't feel good, it's because you're too busy listening to the noise of the ego. How can you feel good if all day long you're obediently listening to this tape that says, I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving, I'm unlovable, I'm not capable, I can't. Why would that feel good? It can't. It doesn't feel good. Change the voice. Change what tape, what noise you're going to listen to. And you know, the voice of love, ego, intuition, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, your inner superhero, your inner superwoman, whatever you want to call it, It's like this really soft, subtle music that's always consistent. And that's something else I want to talk to you about. This concept of consistency and fleeting. The noise of the ego is constantly fleeting. It's flip and flop, flip and flop. 1 minute it likes orange, next minute it likes red. It likes blue, it likes purple. I love red. 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 It doesn't change. It's always consistent. It's always consistent. That's how you know. That's how you know. I hope this is making sense. Okay, let me see. Okay. So if you have questions as I'm talking to you live, put them to the right of your screen and I will ask them. I'm like in your face. Huh? I had to hide the screen where I can see myself. It's really awkward to look at myself as I'm talking to you because I keep looking at myself and not the camera right there. So I had to like hide the screen. So like, and you realize I was so close up. So I really hope this is helping you and serving you because this is life-changing stuff, like literally life-changing stuff. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about next. Okay, so I want to talk to you about next about this whole idea behind understanding what our core values are. Okay, a big part of living in alignment with our soul is to knowing what our core values are. And some of us even aren't aware what our core values are. Okay, core values are the principles or the feelings that we want to live our life by. And I'll share with you mine. Mine are freedom. Mine is authenticity. Mine is compassion. Mine is integrity. Mine is love. Core values I want to live my life by. And how do I know these core values? Well, I asked myself, hey, Kajal, what are your core values? How do you want to live your life by? What principles, what morals, what values do you want to live your life by? So, here's another journaling prompt for you. Top of the page, I done, what are my core values? And it doesn't matter if you're not living these core values right now. Don't base them on what your life is right now. Base them on what you want your life to be like. Freedom. I want freedom in my life. Freedom of time, freedom of space, freedom of anything, to do things on my own terms. I'm very much a my way or the highway person, so I could never work for someone else. I love to be able to have control over how I spend my days. If I don't want to work today, I'm not working today. If I want to work for 20 hours today, I'm going to work for 20 hours today. But freedom is a high, high core value. Integrity is huge. Integrity is to be aligned. My action and my thought and my actions are aligned. It's honest with myself. When I'm in integrity with who I am, that shows up everywhere else in my life. So understanding what are my core values. And this is kind of the step 2 of asking yourself the question, kind of leading it further, is after what is my truth? Step 2 of that is what are my core values? So 2 journaling prompts I have for you today. If you're coming on right now and you didn't hear the earlier part of this conversation, which you should go back and rewind and hear this will be live later too, is what is my truth and what are my core values? Answer those for yourself today in your journal and really start to feel into what those are, what that means for you, and start to kind of get clear and clarity and awareness around these questions. Because it's going to really help you to better understand if you're living in alignment with your soul or you're not. So that's the goodness I have for you so far. And now, if you'd like to ask me any questions, I can answer them live. I'm available to answer your questions live right now. So put them into the right of the screen. Question answer box right there. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so if you're watching on the YouTube page and you're not watching on, I don't know, the Google Plus page, go ahead and put your questions just in the comment of the YouTube page video. And I will grab those questions from there. I have so many tabs open right now. You should see this. So many tabs. Okay. So I'm waiting for your questions. So in the meantime, I'm gonna continue talking because that's what I do, talk. You know, it's like for me, I didn't even mention one of my core values is growth. But because one of my core values is growth, living in alignment with my soul is so crucial and so important to me. Because if I'm not living in alignment with my soul, what kind of life am I living? It's just one of those lives where I'm just going through the motions of living, going through the motions of I'm 27 today, and I'm going to be 37 in 10 years. I'm going to be 57 in another 10 years or 20 years, whatever. I did this, I did that. It's like there's no depth to my life. We're so living so much on the superficial surface level of life that none of us are living in this deep inner knowing of who we are. And when we know who we are, we become this force, And one of the most empowering things to me is helping people actualize their potential, actualize the power of their soul, to become awakened to their truth, to be awakened to their soul. When you come from this place of alignment with your soul, you have a deeper, richer experience of life, and you are happier, you are more at ease, you are living the life you actually want to be lived, not just some version of a life that you think you should be living or need to live or have to live, or you just deserve to live. Oh, this is just in my destiny, poor me, woe me. You're no longer choosing to be a victim, you're choosing to be an empowered creator, because that's who you are. That's who you are. Okay, let's see if I have any questions. Okay, you talked earlier about integrity. What do you do to make that a core principle of your life? Well, what you do is you understand why you want it to be a core principle of your life. The word integrity, if that's something that resonates with you and you feel drawn to it, why? Why do I want to live in integrity? Most of us are looking to feel a certain way because we think that feeling will provide us with something. So if you're living in integrity with your life, what are you giving yourself? What are you allowing yourself to have? What are you allowing yourself to feel? Another thing is, though, how does living with integrity align to your soul? How does it help you become the highest version of who you are? How does it help you be of service to the world? How does it help you be of the highest good or the highest expression of your truth? Your core values should be a representation of who you are, of who you desire to be, of who you want to live out as. One of your core values could be, I want to be a greedy son of a bitch. Sorry for my language there, but if that's what you want one of your core values to be, how does that make you feel? If you want your core values to be integrity and growth and love and get the authenticity, tap into the feeling of it first. And if that's something that feels right with your soul, that's one of your core values. We don't have to, it's like who we are is already love, is already whole, is already perfect, is already authentic, is already beautiful. It's just reclaiming that by unlearning who we are not. So if you need to live in alignment with integrity, you need to understand, why would I even want to do that? Do I believe that I'm not living in line with integrity? And if I am not, why am I not living in integrity with who I am? What is it costing me? That's my perfect way to put it. What is it costing me to not live in integrity with who I am? Great journaling conversation right there with yourself. At the top of the page, write down, What is it costing me to not live in integrity with who I am? And if you have another core value that you would like to have, freedom or something, I don't know, freedom or compassion or authenticity or whatever. What is it costing me to not live in alignment with myself? That's another question. On top of that question is, what is it costing me to not live in alignment with myself? And then if it's costing you, well, it's costing me my happiness. It's costing me my ease. It's costing me my peace of mind. It's costing me my, my marriage. It's costing me my ability to show up for work. It's costing my ability to earn money. What is it costing you when you're not living in alignment with your soul? If you're hiding something from someone, you're hiding the truth of who you are, what is it costing you? You're most likely very unhappy, displeased, disappointed, irritated, frustrated with your life. And you need to ask yourself, why am I continuing to buy into this story that doesn't feel good? A story that doesn't allow me to live in alignment with who I am. Your soul is the highest expression of you. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so if you have any more questions, put them to the right of your box and I will answer them. My tea is getting cold. Okay. What role models on this topic do you have, and can you suggest any books about them? I'm not sure what you mean by role models. Role models isn't people who are living in alignment with their soul. You can, if that's what you're asking, and I'm going to assume that's what you're asking. One of my favorite spiritual teachers is Wayne Dyer. All of his books, but one specific book that I really love from him is he just died a year ago yesterday, guys. That also was on my mind the other day. But the day he died, I was reading the book. You'll see it when you believe it. So I suggest that book from him. You'll see it when you believe it. What other role models? Eckhart Tolle. His book, The Power of Now, life-changing book. I love that book. It's a great, great book. Who else? Another spiritual teacher which I feel really drawn to is Paramahansa Yogananda. Autobiography of a Yogi is his book. That book. A Course in Miracles. Jesus is my role model, if that counts. A Course in Miracles. If you are in the place to receive the knowledge, the wisdom, the truth of that book, it will change your life. I'm a student of A Course in Miracles, and most of my coaching and how I work with my clients is deeply rooted in the foundations and the principles and the teachings of A Course in Miracles. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, how do you connect your mind and your actions? Well, that's a really good question. So you have to understand that whenever you have an inkling to take an action, it always occurs because of a thought. So it's a thought, action, and experience or manifestation or result, whatever. So it's thought, action, outcome. So if you have an action you'd like to take, for example, you need to go tell someone that that you really can't do what they're asking you to do, and you're afraid that it will disappoint them, it will hurt them, you're afraid of that confrontation. So that to take that action was because of a thought. Maybe a thought you had was, oh, I'm not really happy with, the decision I made, and I feel like I'm lying to myself, or this person should know the truth. And the obvious result of that thought will be, well, I need to act on this, and I need to go tell this person that, I can't do this, and I'm really sorry. But my fear of disappointing them or hurting them is the reason I'm not able to take that action. So when your thought and your action are aligned, you're in integrity with who you are, you're aligned to your soul. And so this is something really prevalent when we're trying to manifest something in our life. For example, let's say you're trying to manifest a soulmate, a partner to share your life with, someone who you can jive with, and whatever, like in a romantic partner. And your thought is like, dear universe, I really would like to meet someone who I could, have an authentic, real conversation with, but someone who I can be best friends with. But your action is, any guy that talks to you, you're just like, oh yeah, I'll go on a date with you. Oh yeah, I'll go hang out with you. But this guy isn't right for you. You just don't like his energy, or you don't like his vibe, but you're still just choosing to go on a date with him. It's like, what kind of person you want, and you've taken the awareness and the energy to think about it, but your action isn't aligned to that because you're just so desperate. You're just so like, oh yeah, I'll just go out because I want a boyfriend because all my friends have boyfriends and I need one too. You're not in alignment with your thought. You're not in alignment with your soul. So your thought and your action have to be in alignment, as in they always have to flow. They always have to feel good. If it's not feeling good, it's not in alignment. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Okay, I would like to learn how to help others learn this truth and discover alignment in their struggles. Well, the reason we have struggles is because we're not aligned. We're not aligned to our truth. The concept of struggle is something we think we have to have in order to transcend it. If you think that way, great. But in order for you to feel alignment and align to your soul, drop the struggle. It's like there's a story. It's like when you can help other people understand the story they're telling themselves. Everyone has a story. We all have these stories we're telling ourselves. My story is that, I might be like, I'm unworthy or incapable, or I just can only work this $9 an hour job, and I can't ask for too much, or it's really hard to find the right man, or it's really hard to make good money, it's really hard to do what I love. And your story is a victim. Okay, so what is the story you're telling yourself? It's a story aligned to who you are. It's like, not until do you know who you are, you can't know the story of who you are. Hope that makes sense. You have to first go within, ask yourself some simple questions, hire a coach, work with whoever you need to work with, a mentor who can help you understand why you have wounds around certain things. Why do you have wounds when someone says, I love you? Why do you have wounds when someone compliments you and you can't accept that compliment? Why do you have wounds that you can't be successful? Why do you have wounds around being able to do what you love? What you have to understand why you have these wounds, and then go in and heal these wounds. That's what life coaching is all about. Life coaching, as a life coach, what I do is I take people not to the symptom to treat the symptom, but to go to the cause of the symptom. When you go to the cause of the symptom, and you go in back in time, or back in that moment or that instant where you got that wound, and you go in and you send it love, you send it light, and you heal from within, that's when the true change happens on the outside. So that's part one to your question. Whether it is beating addiction, stressors, working towards a dream, transitioning to different phases of life. The right questions and approach to get them to realize on their own and build them up from their struggles. You can't live someone else's life. You can't change someone else. The best thing you can do is be the example. I had to learn this the hard way. The reason I laugh about it is because when I was going through my own journey of like doing my deep inner work, and I've been on this journey for 6 years now, I was reading, I was writing, I was working with people whoever I needed to work with, and talking to mentors, and watching lectures and reading books and doing workshops, whatever I needed to do. I was like, I'm gonna help this person, and that time was my partner, and I was like, I'm gonna change you, and I would make these suggestions, and I'd be like, you should read this book, and you should do this journaling prompt, and you should do this meditation with me, and they were just like, it was like, you knew that they weren't ready for it. They weren't ready to take that journey on for themselves. I was forcing them to be ready for it. You can't change someone else. And what I learned from that was that I just had to be the example. And over time, when my partner started seeing me and excelling and changing my life and who I was, they got curious. They're like, what did you do? I need to know. They'll come to you, and that's when they're open. When someone isn't open, nothing you say can penetrate them. And for me, like, in my everyday life, if you were to hang out with me, this is all I talk about. I love this stuff. This is all I talk about. And if it were up to me, I'd talk about it with everyone, even someone at the grocery store. But I can't. Over time, I had to learn the hard way that not everyone is open and available to listen to what you have to say. So now what energy, if their energy at all feels open to be able to take in what I'm saying, then that's only when I bring up the conversation. Otherwise, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so if you have any more questions, put them in the comments of either the YouTube page if you're watching there, or to the live stream to your right. And I will answer a few more questions for you. I really hope that this was insightful, this was helpful, you're receiving good, valuable information and insights on this. And you're ready to do your own inner work. It's like we think that, well, just, it's not like studying a physics book or a biology book or finishing a book and it's like, oh, well, I read this book and now I know everything I need to know. No, it doesn't work like that. Most of the times when we read things, we only understand at a conceptual level. Not until it's come from a place of knowing, as actually like core knowing, can we really implement the changes we need to implement. So it's like so many people think that, like, first of all, people have this notion that I need to be healed, something's wrong with me. So we go searching and searching for all those people, all those books that we think will heal us. And there's amazing resources out there. There's amazing people doing amazing things in the world. But we may leave their seminar or leave their talk or read their book feeling so hyped up and energized, but that energy doesn't last. Because we haven't made that commitment to really make the changes we need to make. And you need to make that changes from really going within and meeting yourself where you are right now, not condemning yourself, not making yourself wrong for not hating on yourself for where you are. And you get the help that you need. You hire a coach, you go to therapy, you go into a program. It's like same way, like people want to lose weight. Some people need that support to lose weight and get in shape. So they hire a personal trainer, they hire a nutritionist who walks them on this process, who is there with them, someone who's done it before, someone who has that insight, can look at their blind spots, can look at their guards that they have up, and they can kind of be that mirror for themselves. That's what I do as a coach. So if you're really serious about changing your life from within, get the help that you need. I didn't get to where I am today by doing this on my own. God, no. There's so many people who I learned from and who helped me, who mentored me to get me to where I am today. And I'm still doing that on my journey, is, constantly investing in things I need to do to become the best version of myself and unravel things. Something I'm really interested in right now is past life regression and being able to go back to periods in my life in the past as a child where I hold trauma. There's trauma points there, and I'm still carrying that trauma in my body and still experiencing that trauma in my life right now. Something else I'm doing is going through a training program to be a holistic life coach, to receive the support I need to be able to do my great work in the world, to be of even more service to the world. So it's like doing whatever you need to do to take care of yourself and to get the help that you need, and not making yourself feel wrong for where you are right now. It's like meeting yourself with compassion, meeting yourself with kindness. That's how you can accept who you are right now, because without acceptance, you can't create any change. I hope that makes sense. So if you have many more questions, ask them to me. I will answer them. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I really hope that this served you, this helped you, this sparked something within you to follow that rabbit down the hole and to, choose to live in alignment with your soul. It's a choice, it's a choice. And something I did the other day, a practice I did the other day that I want to share with you, is that if you can imagine your life as a movie, as a movie you're watching, what would the name of your movie be? And the character that you are right now, obviously you know the name of the character, but go write down the script of the movie and the dialogues you want the character to say and the character's life and their story. But don't create a story that is the old story that isn't working, but create the story that you want to be living. You know, and I did this, and it's so empowering because I go and I read the story and I'm like, well, Kajal is a spiritual teacher. She's a New York best-selling author, and she has a thriving life coaching business, and she's helping thousands of people align and awaken their soul. And it's just like, that's the story I tell myself because that's the story I want to live. You know, it's so it's understanding what story am I telling myself, and is this story I want to be telling myself. So go ahead and write maybe it'll just be the story for the rest of this year. You know, it's September 1st tomorrow. September, October, November. It's 4 more months left of this year. Okay, 4 more months. It's ridiculous, first of all. So go ahead and write down a story that you want to live out for the rest of the year and align to that story. And the way you align to that story is you own that story. You choose to live a new story. And why you choose to live a new story? Because your old story isn't making you feel good. It's making you feel like shit. It's making you feel like crap. It's not working. You know, the story of constantly being broke, or the story of constantly feeling like you're not worthy of success and unworthy of love. Why are you continuing to buy into that story? Like, do you think by living that story, you'll get the story you want? You'll become the person you want? You'll attract the experiences, the situations, the partners, the life that you desire? No. Not until you begin on creating and telling yourself a new story can you experience a new story. Can you live out a new story? So write a new story for yourself down. You know, whatever. If there's a certain area of your life where it's just not working, you know, maybe it's your finances, maybe it's your love life, maybe it's your work, write the new story. And write the new story and read it to yourself every single day in the mirror and believe it. You may not believe it on day one, you may not believe it on week one, but you will definitely start believing it as you continue to affirm that and consistently tell that story to yourself every single day and receive the help that you need. You know, hire someone, work with someone, coach, whatever, and help and allow them to be your guide, to be your companion, to help you align to your story. That's what you need. All right, so it's almost 8, so I'm gonna start wrapping it up now. So if anything in this video spoke to you and you want to hop on a free 30-minute call with me, you can. We can talk about what your intentions and your goals are and how I can help you live out a new story. You can message me, you know where to find me. I'm pretty sure if you're on this call, you're watching this live or you're watching this a later time, you know where to find me. Just email me, message me, whatever. So I want to thank you so much for being here, spending your hour with you, because I know how valuable our time is. So much is going on all the time. We're always busy. We always have things going on. So I really appreciate you being here, sharing your space, your energy with me. And I really hope that I served you in some way. Wherever you go in the world, wish you a miraculous day. Bye.